Hello, my name is William Nolan, and today I'll be talking about how Word and Excel help in woodworking companies. Generally, in companies, they use systems like Access to keep track of their employees, their sales. Maybe they keep track of customer information. I hope they do. They may keep track of themselves. They use PowerPoint to do some presentations to employees, to maybe future potential customers, to other businesses. And they also use Word to write down documents they're going to send to maybe employees or customers. They also use Excel to do calculations such as how much profits did you do during your year. But in a woodworking company, how would you use Word and Excel? It's a bit hard to see, but there are some uses other than calculating how much profit you've done during your year. It's actually pretty interesting what you can do. So, on that note, let's start with Excel. When you're working on a project in some woodworking, you need a couple of things. First of all, you need a plan. You need a plan of what you're going to do. If you're making a chest and you have your wood with you and you have your tools, but you don't have a plan, how do you expect that chest to be in any functional order once you finish it? So you need a plan. You also need tools, because you won't be molding wood with your bare hands. That would be pretty absurd, wouldn't it be? So besides the tools and plans, you also need wood. After all, it's woodworking. If you were trying to do a wooden piece of furniture without wood, you wouldn't go very far now, would you? There's one last thing you need. It's a list of wood. A list of components. You need a list of all the components you're gonna need for your piece of furniture. Now, if you don't have that, you'll have no clue and you won't be able to remember what you actually need to make your piece of furniture. It may sound silly, but after what I'm going to show you, it's going to make more sense. So let's begin. So this is it. This is the list of all the components you need for your piece of furniture. Now I've made two lists as an example. One is the chest, and one is a custom-made piece of furniture. Of course, you could always right-click on the Custom tab, move or copy, and create another copy to create an exact same as your original one, and yet modify it differently than your first Custom tab. So, let's get back to the actual Custom tab, and let me start explaining to you what it does. Now here it's pretty simple. You just type in the component you want, and it's just a description of what that piece does. There's no actual formula for this, since the piece you want to do is up to you to determine. So let's say here it could be a leg. Now here, this is the number of pieces you actually need to do it. So here it's written 1, but have you ever seen any piece of furniture with only one leg? Let's write 4. Now the length, the width, and the thickness will all modify the volume of wood you need. So 1 meter leg is a bit long, so let's reduce that to 500 millimeters. The thickness and the width are way too large, so let's reduce those to, let's say, a good healthy 60 millimeters. otherwise 6 centimeters. So as you can see, my meters cubed of volume of the wood I use changes as I type in dimensions, which can be useful for a client who wants to create his own piece of furniture and wants to determine the cost of the wood it would actually cost him. So you can see here the essence is cherry, but of course it can be anything, since I am using a VLOOKUP table within all those three within this table. So if I write ash, the price is going to change. If I write spruce, the price is also going to change. So depending on what you write, the price of your furniture will cost, obviously. And it is a very useful tool in woodworking to see how much it would actually cost you. Now, if it's your first time in woodworking, you don't know too much how that works, you can also ask for a pre-made table. So here you can see it's a chest with a V-mold. It has all the components, it has the number of pieces, it has all the dimensions required, and pre-calculated volume and the wood kind you want. Now, if you're not happy with this, if you're not happy with wood, and you look for a more exotic piece of furniture, you can ask for some cherry wood. And the owner of the company would actually change it like this, and it would automatically change the cost. It is a great tool to be used, and most people would not have expected Excel to be used this way. Of course, other basic uses of Excel in a woodworking company would be to calculate the total income. Now, how many people decided to do the chest? How much did it cost you to do it? How much did they pay you for to do it? So it's things like that that can be used for woodworking purposes. Now that we're done with Excel, we can start with Word. In a woodworking company, it's important to have a good communication with your clients, so that trust can settle in. To have good communication, you must communicate with them personally, but it's long to write, let's say, 17 individual letters with the name of everyone. So what Word allows us to do is to do a mail merge. In a woodworking company, this could be especially useful to confirm the date, the project, and whatever other things that needs to be confirmed with a client. So let's get to it now. With Word, you can do a mail merge, which is actually pretty interesting. You can select what you want to do. So you can do email messages, letters, envelopes. For this case, we'll be doing an email. So as you're writing down the letter, you can choose from a list of recipients. I already have mine, and here they are. Now I have 2 to simplify things. I don't need to show you 15 in order to show you this. I just need 2. So here are some made up addresses, lines, and everything with things to note. Here for the furniture, it's written chest, and here it's written table. As for the wood, here it's ash and cherry. The cost is $39.38, and here the spruce and ash cost $64.93. So keep that in mind for later on. As you're writing down your letter, you can choose what kind of greeting line you want. You can also start writing down your letter, and as you're going along, insert merge fields, which can be found here. Now the merge field will be custom made for the specific letter to whom you are writing to. So I am currently writing to Mrs. Cole, therefore she is doing the table, and she ordered spruce and ash. As you can see, if I remove the merge fields, if I remove the preview result, here is all the info about her that you need to know, even the cost and the furniture. You can also add an if function, which I did here. If you compare the two documents, this statement is different for both of them, since let's say one project would take more time to do than the other one. This one would obviously take more since it costs $150 more. I've also added a second if statement to introduce newer members to the group and older members. Since this person is doing the chest, he's a newer member. Therefore, I've added this statement, which says that he will be accompanied with a teacher since it's his first time, and that the teacher will answer his question. But the other one says that since she's an experienced person, she won't need to be supervised and go through a basic tutorial. All she'll have to do is start her project, and she can ask questions to the teacher if she has any. Now, what the mail merge allows you to do is you can create multiple of mails just from one single document, which is quite amazing, instead of retyping every name or writing dear Mr. or Mrs. to whom this may concern. This makes for a lot more personal mail and for a better contact with your clients. So I'm going to complete the mail merge right now, and of course I won't send it since, well, it would be of no use. So right now the mail merge is complete, and I have 2 letters currently. I have one for Mrs. Cole and one for Mr. Moretti. Each is different except for some typed in information. And so concludes this video on woodworking, Excel and Word. I tried to go out of the box by explaining maybe a different way of using Excel rather than calculating numbers and taxes, income, expenses. I tried to go out of the way by showing you a component list, how it could actually be used by the clients in woodworking. So, as for Word, the mail merge is just a fantastic tool. It can be used very easily and can create so many things at the same time. It is just an incredible tool to use for all of your clients, no matter how many they are. So thank you for watching.